Good evening. Hello. Hello, everybody. It's Linda, and I'm here for a Sunday night of some crafting fun with you guys. I hope everyone has had a lovely Mother's Day today. It's Sunday evening here in Australia, and so that means Mother's Day is coming to an end. My kids sometimes say to me, well, when is it Kids' Day? It's Kids' Day every day, right? All mothers know that answer. Yep. Oh, that's nice, Linda. 2 potted chrysanthemums. That's a nice gift. I'm looking to see what everyone... Oh, you guys have been chatting for a while. Goodness. All right, let's see. Yes, fur babies also count. We're mothers to those as well. Yeah, my mum's been gone now. She passed in 2017, June 2017, about a week after my birthday. But I know there's a lot of people in that situation. They're still our mums, always, always. I put up a photo, actually. I haven't done it on my private page, but I put up a photo on my public page and on my Instagram page of myself and my mum, taken when I was about 6 years old. And yeah, it was on a fishing holiday from many, many years ago. That were the only holidays we ever had when I was a kid, because my dad was a mad keen fisherman, which means I turned into a mad keen fisher child because I was, there was nothing I much more loved at that stage of my life than going fishing with my dad. So there we go. Just looking through all your comments. Yes, it is cold. I've got the heater on tonight. Goodness me. You had an okay day? Yes, it is very cool. A few people are complaining about the cold. Yeah, look, some of us are still lucky enough to have our mums around, and if that's you, and don't forget, a lot of us are mums too. So actually, I had a really nice day. I had a bit of a surprise. First of all, my husband came home from work at 7 a.m. and brought me a hot chocolate in bed. That was a nice start. And then my son made me breakfast in bed, so that was pretty good. My daughter was away for the night last night, so she wasn't around this morning, but I got invited to lunch. It was a bit of a surprise. Some friends of mine were going to high tea, and they were taking their daughter and their son and their partners, and her daughter couldn't make it. So she asked would I like to come instead, and so I went and had a very nice high tea with them, and it was lovely. I haven't done that before. It wasn't, I was thinking of those, tiered plates and things like that with stuff on them. It wasn't quite like that, but it was very nice. The food was beautiful, and it was lovely to be asked. I'm just looking through. Have I missed any questions or comments that I should have got onto? Hey there, Jean. Oh, honey, I still hope you had a lovely Mother's Day. That's a hard thing for you to deal with, but you've got your fur babies, right, like you said, and they do warm your heart. Yep, happy Mother's Day to all the crafty ladies. Thanks, Denise. Hey there, Deb. Oh, look, it's so nice to see everybody here. So, as I'm just going through, I don't think there's too many more comments. Goodness me, you guys can type faster than I can scroll. Oh, yeah, that's a good age. That's a nice choice. Peonies are always beautiful, Jenny. One of my favorites. If ever I got a tattoo, that was a tattoo I would consider. I haven't got any tattoos, but I have thought about it. But yeah, it's one of those things that's not high on my priority list at this point in my life. Okay, all right, let's get going. And I thought we might do, well, first of all, I think it was Megan that asked the other night whether or not I could show some shadow stamping. What are we learning tonight? Well, sometimes we just make nice cards. We just make pretty things. And then other times I like to throw in some techniques. So I am going to throw in a little technique by request. If ever you guys have got something you want to see or something you want to know how to do, please ask. If I know, then I'm only too happy to do it for you. And if I don't know, then it's an exciting opportunity for me to learn something as well. And I go off and do the research and come back and show you what I found out. So, yeah, that's kind of nice that we can do that. But a couple of weeks ago, Jody asked me to do mirror stamping, so we did that. And I had a lot of fun posting mirror stamping projects for a number of days. Last weekend we did the bleaching. And then this weekend I've been asked to do shadow stamping. Some people call it 3D stamping because the effect does look a bit like a 3D image when you're done. We're going to do the easy version. There's a couple of different ways to do it, but I thought we'd do the easy version. If anyone wants to see the other version, we might do that another time. Okay. All right. Yes, you caught me live. Hi, Judy. Nice to see you. We have a number of Judys that join us. There's a few of them, so it seems we have a lot of J names. I don't know why that is, but we seem to have a lot of those. So there you go. You'd like to learn more about using the blender pens? Okay, well, we'll do that another time. Okay, blender pens are a little technique all in themselves, and you can do a number of different things with them. Okay, all right, I'm going to switch over to the desk. And guess what's on the desk? Yay, the new catalogue that went live last Tuesday. We love that, right? So this one goes now until the end of April next year. So it's around for a whole 12 months. This is our big annual catalogue, as it says right there on the front. The stamp set and suite that they've used here on the front is the Hues of Happiness stuff. So it's Hues of Happiness paper, this paper behind here. I may even show a bit of that tonight. We'll do the first card, the shadow stamping first. And for that, I'm actually going to use one of our new things, and that is the Tea Boutique. Some of you may have seen this around about or wondered how you use it, what you do with it. The whole suite is actually, the whole collection is 4 different things together. You've got the bundle, which is the stamps and the dies, those 2 items. Then you've got the 6x6 paper, and then you've got the Tea Boutique cards and envelopes, which are shown here. Okay, so I've got all those things here. First of all, here's the stamp set and the dies. Open up the dies. And you can see there's lots of little pieces. So a lot of these things, like this one here, cuts out these leaves that go inside a teacup. Okay, they're rather cute. You've got this big leaf here that cuts out with this one. You've got these 2 teacups actually cut out with this one here, but you can also use this one with the leaves. These leaves match up with what's on this one, and you can actually cut those out like a fine detail to go over the top of something else. So it's very cool, actually. There's lots of fun that you can have with those. So there's little tea bag tags. There's a couple of those. There's one here and there's another one here. Okay, there's a couple of little hearts that you can use for all sorts of different things. And one of my favorite things in this whole suite is the little lemon. Okay, this is so, so cute. So I made a card this afternoon, and I'm basically going to show you how I did it. I haven't actually glued it onto the white card base yet, but I'm going to show you. This is actually using shadow stamping in my background. Can you see that there? Okay, can you see they kind of look like, if you look at this one here, it looks like it's stamped with a shadow. All right, so it looks like it's more than one color. Does that make sense? I think I froze up so much. You made a card the other day. Yeah, it is a nice suite. Yeah. So on the back, all right, I've actually just wanted to show you something. This is actually, they look like they're all the same. So this is where I've done a bit of the shadow stamping, and I'll show it to you in a moment. But these 2 down here, I did slightly differently to these 2. These ones, I did the white first and then stamped the color over the top. And these ones, I stamped the color first, the ink, classic ink, and then the white over the top. Now, once it dries, it doesn't look all that different, but it is a little bit different. So for example, can you see this one's got like white edges? This one has dark edges. So the one that has the dark edges is actually the one I want, because it actually creates a shadow with that darker color, and that's what makes it look like it's popping off the page. So this one looks more 3D than this. Can everyone see what I'm talking about? Bring it up a little higher. See at the top here, you've got like white edges. This one's got the dark shadow edges, and that's the one I'm going for. This is the one I want to do. So they do really jump off the page, don't they? All right, so let's have a little go at creating something like this. And I'm going to put these away for the moment. Oh, I didn't show you the papers or the teacups, the papers and the cards and envelopes. All right, so here's the paper. I've got it a bit out of order, but so one side has like teacups, and more, you know, teapots, lemons. I like the lemons. Lemons are always fun. All right. You've got all your different designs, but on the back you've got your more abstract designs like stripes and spots and checks and things like that. So I find these ones are really good for backgrounds. That one goes in there. And that one goes there. And I find I like to use more abstract patterns like this for backgrounds. And then I would be more likely to use those. I don't know. I might even cut the individual items out and so forth, but I would probably tend to use these more in backgrounds, which is what I normally use designer series paper for. I tend to use it more for backgrounds unless I'm actually cutting out images, which we're going to do a bit later. But they do look really nice, don't they? Yeah, do you like that? Yeah, it does look a bit frosted, I agree. So it's a very simple way of getting a great result without resorting to embossing. Okay, so it's an easy technique. Now these are also part of the suite, and I just want to show them to you. These are the cards and envelopes, so you can see. Oh, I've got some more paper here. Some of that seems to have jumped off the page. Oh, look, more paper. I didn't think it was a full pack. I like this. This is the colours that are featured in this paper is the new in colours. Okay, so this is the Tahitian Tide with the dots. Isn't that nice? And then, you know, you've got other colours in there too, like that is Blushing Bright, I believe. But there's a lot of colours in it. But all the new in colours are in this paper. All right, and it's the same with these. Okay, so these are the cards and envelopes. So this one has the Tahitian Tide background. Then this one has the Orchid Oasis. I'm getting better at saying Orchid Oasis. Every now and then I can't help myself when I say Orchid Opulence, but some of you might have been around long enough to remember that colour. But it's not Orchid Opulence, it's Orchid Oasis, and I've got to get the hang of that. This is this new Starry Sky. This is the Parakeet Party, which is a little bit like the old, for anyone who remembers it, Lemon Lime Twist, although the Lemon Lime Twist had a bit more yellow to it. Hey there, Denise. Nice to see you. And then this one is the Sweet Sorbet. So in the pack of these, you get 20, I believe, 20 cards and 20 envelopes. I hope I've got that right. I probably should look it up and make sure before I tell you things like that. It does tell you here in the catalogue. Where are they? Just got to find it. It's right at the start. Here we go. Teacups. Oh, it doesn't tell you on this page. It does tell you that that's on page shown in more detail on 137. So if I go to 137, okay, yeah, 20 cards and 20 envelopes, 20 card bases. And they are in American sizing. So, you know, they can't make them just for our market. But we have, they're 4 1/4 inches by 5.5, but it does have the metric there. It's 10.8 by 14. So just slightly smaller, slightly shorter this way, slightly wider this way. Okay, more square than ours, which is standard for American sizing. And it tells you all the colours that are in that. But yeah, they're really, really nice. So these are the matching envelopes. So you've got one once again for each colour. You can see Starry Sky, Parakeet Party. I like the sorbet in this. That looks really, really nice, doesn't it? It looks like they've used Blushing Bride and some, maybe that's pumpkin pie, looks like. And I think the green might be garden green and maybe granny apple green. Hard to tell. Then you've got Tahitian Tide, that one there. And there you go. And on the other side, you've got your flowers going over to the back of the envelope, which is rather cute. Don't you like those? I think they're really nice. So that's the cards and envelope set. So if you're looking quick and easy cards, this would be a great way to go because, you know, you could put, actually, I can give you a good example of this. If I had a piece of, and I think I do have a piece of, like a stitch rectangle, like one of these, that would go really nicely in the middle of that, yeah, and give you a really great effect. Here you go. I knew I had one handy, like so. And then you could decorate that and do different things on that. So these are really easy to use, quick and easy cards if you're looking for something effective and haven't got to stick DSP on them because it's kind of already done for you. All right. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to get a piece. Actually, I've got a piece here, but this is the piece I used last week. Oh, I'm going to get away with this, you know. So this is actually for anyone who remembers, we did some bleaching, remember? I'm using the back of that sheet. I figured I might as well use that piece on the reverse. and I just realized that I've got a bit of a ratty. It's time for me to change the blades. I just need to do it. I have got the blades sitting right here next to the desk, so I just need to change the blades because the cutting edge has blunted a little bit. So let me see. I still have, does anyone remember these from years ago? If you don't have one of these, that's okay, but we used to sell them, and you know, these little bits of sandpaper Velcro on and off, but you can just use any fine sandpaper for this job. So whenever you get like a ragged edge, just go over the edge and sand that edge off, and then it will look like it's perfect. You won't need to worry. Now I did notice a little bit of the bleach came through this edge here, but that's okay. We're going to cover that up. All right. Now, something else I wanted to show you, we might just test it on here first, is I've actually used a darker color. So this color is the Orchid Oasis, but I did my stamping in Starry Sky, which is a darker shade. So shall we look at both and see how they look different? Because it will work. Either color is going to work. And I'm going to use, oh, I just need to give that stamp a clean. I'm going to use the stamp from the leaf, the same leaf is here, which is from this cup of tea set. I just had to clean it because it's still got white ink on it from before. And I don't want to put the white ink into my blue. All right, so this is the Orchid Oasis, so it's not really blue, it's a purpley color. And when you stamp it on here, you can see it's fairly dark. Okay, so in this case, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. If I use Starry Sky, you won't see a huge difference. So either would be fine. Ooh. Silly. It's not stamping very well because I've got these things on the back. So let me start on a new piece. So I'm deciding, will I go with the Orchid or will I go with the Starry Sky? Either way, let's go with the Orchid this time. That one, and I'll put this one away. Just put my stamper clean again. Right. All right, so because I've got this white edge from the bleaching, I'm actually going to make sure I stamp right there to cover up that bit of white. There we go. No one will ever know. Right. I noticed my Orchid is a little. I haven't done the back of the spoon trick. For those of you who know how I redistribute the ink, I haven't done that yet on this pad, so it's a little bit wet. But that's okay. On this color, it won't matter. If I was doing it on white, it probably would matter. I'll turn this around and go this way. So I'm doing these randomly, so it's kind of creating a background. And very random at the moment. There we go. I think that's probably enough. Maybe just another one here. And maybe another one here. That's probably enough. Give that a clean. And it is important to clean between stamping with your color and going into your white ink pad. You really don't want to put your color into your white ink pad because that kind of messes it up. All right. I've actually got an older style craft pad, which I've just been re-inking this one. At some point, I'll probably buy myself a new one because it's probably good for me to demonstrate with a new one, I suppose. Now, this is super, super easy to do with a photopolymer stamp. Okay, and this is the easiest way to do your shadow stamping. If I was doing this with a rubber stamp, you can also do it with the rubber stamp, but in that case, I would use the Stamparatus. Okay, so it would be a little bit of a different technique or a different way of doing this technique. But what you want to do is you want to make sure you get plenty of white ink on the stamp. Okay, and I'm going to start here and I'm going to line these up. Okay, and then what I want to do, because I can kind of see where I'm going, I want to slightly move it so I don't quite line it up. So that's good for those of us who are worrying about lining things up. Can you see I've kind of off a little bit? So now you can see the blue shadow of the original stamp. Can you see that? All right. So why this looks 3D is actually because it creates 3 colors. Can you see this? So instead of having the dark blue and the white, we also have a third color where the 2 overlap. Okay, so we've got the blue where it's sitting out here, where I didn't stamp over, the white that is sitting here by itself on the cardstock, and in between where they join, there's a different color again. Okay, so it's actually 3 colors, and that's why it looks 3D, because you get a shadow, but you get this third color. So that's why it's effective. Okay, so we just got to make sure that we each time line it up close to perfect and then slightly off. And so for those of you who worry about lining things up actually like completely perfectly, this is going to be your dream technique, because you haven't got to do it perfect. The thing is, I went a bit far away, that wasn't very well done. Okay, it doesn't really matter, but the closer you can get them together, the more 3D it looks. This one will just look a little bit abstract. So if I can try and line this one up, occasionally I get them spot on and then I'm disappointed because it doesn't look as good when it's spot on. That's better. Make sure I'm getting plenty of white ink on this. So we're going to line this up slightly off. Oh, that was nearly too perfect down the bottom. You get the idea, I think, anyway. It's very simple to do. Is it me, or does this look a little bit, every now and then it seems to look like it's freezing? Did anyone else notice that? Because it looks like it's freezing on my computer. Hopefully that's okay. It does always give stunning results, Michelle. You're completely right. Quite a bit, Donna, in answer to your question. When you first get the white pad, you want to make sure it's pretty wet. So I usually dot mine all over, like dot, 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 dot all over the pad, and then massage it in with the back of the spoon. And you can test it out if you're worried, and test it out. And if it doesn't ink up successfully on your block, when you've got a stamp on your block, then you probably need to add some more. So it's a little bit of trial and error, but it's kind of cool. So can everyone sort of see how this is another reason why I really think everybody needs to have white ink in their collection. White ink is just one of those things that looks fantastic no matter what you do with it. It's got so many different uses. All right. So does that kind of, can you kind of get the feel for that, what we're trying to do here? And this time I used the Orchid Oasis. This one, you might be able to see it's slightly darker. Can you see that? This one I've used the Starry Sky. It's hard to tell the difference, like here in this light, I think, but it is slightly darker, that one there. Okay. Now, what I did then was I used this as my background piece. I thought that looked really nice. And we've got that piece of, this is a stitched rectangle, and it's going to go here in the middle. So basically I'm recreating that card that I did earlier. I've got a blending pen here, and I have somewhere close by some yellow ink. You know what? Maybe I'm not meant to use yellow ink tonight. Oh no, I put it back. I put it back where it belongs. No wonder I can't find it. All right, so this is, I did this so that I could put it, I thought it would go nicely with the piece of lemon. You could pick a different color. You could go, the parakeet party would look nice. You could also, you know, and do a line instead of piece of lemon, but a line would be nice as well. But I think that tea needs to have lemon, don't you? So I'm going to start right here where I'm going to be putting my teacup. And I'm just going to softly go in circles. Don't worry if it's sort of blobby in the middle because you're going to cover that up. And we're going to get bigger and bigger. So I'm sort of, I've got this color going on here. And you'll know if it's big enough. I've already got a teacup. I haven't stamped on it yet, but the teacup is going to go here. So you can see that there's a nice bit of color coming out from behind that. Maybe a little bit more down here. All right, just like that. Yeah, there would have been enough ink on the brush. You're right. Didn't really need to find it again because I used it earlier. All right, so I'm going to stamp the teacup, and I've already got this lined up, and I organized this before I started. I've already got it set up with this template so that I do this a lot for my classes. If you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you're looking for a really great way to do die cutting in classes, do your die cutting ahead of time, like actually set it up on the Stamparatus so that you cut it out so it leaves a hole like this, and then you can just put your teacups into the hole and ink it up and stamp, ink it up and stamp, and everyone just puts their teacup or whatever it is that they're stamping in the hole and does their stamping. So easy, really, really great way to do it if you're trying to run a class. And it saves a lot of time for everyone, you know, trying to get to the cutting machine to cut their image out, or you having to do all the cutting, which is what usually happened at my classes. I was always cutting for everybody else. So this is a big time saver. All right, so now that's in the hole, I'm just going to bring that over, stamp. Now, the other thing that's great about the Stamparatus is when you've got a really solid striped image like this, there's a good chance that it may not stamp perfectly. Now, it's not bad, but can you see it's a little bit grey in areas? And that might be what you're wanting, but I don't. I want it to be really solid black. So I'm going to put it back in and I'm going to stamp it again, right? And I can do this as many times as I like until I'm happy with it. So this is another thing I really like the Stamparatus for. So do that again. And because the piece of paper, the template is in the same place, it's going to stamp perfectly every time. All right, it's getting darker. Do we like that? One more time. I'm going to give it I'm going to make it really good and black. Last time. So this is just Memento ink. I'm using black Memento for this. All right, that should be good now. Look how nice and black that is. That's great. All right, so it's all set up, and I'll put that over to one side. All right, so this piece here is going to end up on here in front of this yellow spongy from the brush. Okay, and I've also got a piece of lemon. Now, I just used So Saffron for this. You could use whatever yellow you think works well. And I'm just going to grab a piece of white cardstock. And in this same packet, we've got this lemon here. I'll pop that on a block. Only needs a little block because it's only a little stamp. So A is fine, A or B. And you can die cut this out, but you know what? It's such an easy, simple shape. I'm just going to do it by hand because I've got a pair of scissors right here. And it's just as easy as getting my machine out. So just going to cut around the edge there. But there is a die cut for this if you prefer not to cut by hand. And straight along the bottom there. Just like that. All right, now I'm going to use my scissors again. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut along one of those lines there from the center, like so. So now I've got a little slice in my lemon. And what I want to do with that is I want to put that to the back and have this piece popping over so it actually sits over my cup. Can you see that? So just like that. I'll pop a glue dot behind that just to hold it in place. Use the end of my bone folder here. There we go, just like that. So now my lemon is kind of stuck there. And then behind here I'm going to pop some dimensionals. One. I might put one up the top here to make sure that lemon is going to stay in place. And then maybe one down the bottom. Take the backs off. Just like that. All right. Now, one of the things I really like that's in our new catalogue is the new twine that's in all the new colours. So you've got your Starry Sky, Parakeet Party, Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, and Orchid Oasis. And you could use either, any of these, but I'm just going to use the Starry Sky because that goes quite nicely. And I should have put this behind before I put this on, but oh well, it doesn't really matter. But it would have been a little bit easier. I could have just stuck it on with the dimensionals that are behind there. I think that's what I did with this one. I put the dimensionals on the twine. But let me just grab my bone folder. I'm just going to slide that in there. Easier said than done because I've got dimensionals at the top. Let me put that there. There we go, like that. All right, and so this is going to come over here, and of course it needs to have a tea bag holder, like a tea bag tag. So there's a couple of in the dies. We've got a couple of different sizes. This one I actually embossed on it. I did it in the darker color and then embossed on it in white. I'm not going to do that now. I just realized this would be nice with another dimensional because it's sitting up a bit funny. So let me pop another dimensional behind there. Take that back off and that'll stick down better now. All right, so I've got a little tiny weeny one and then a bigger one. Let's go with the bigger one. And let's just chop that off so we haven't got to worry about this rolling around the desk. And we can trim this shorter later, that's not a problem. Now, I've got my little machine here, and I'm just going to be really lazy and cut a little bit because that'll fit nicely through here. Could be coffee. I don't know. I drink coffee out of cups sometimes, don't you? Without the tea, I wouldn't put a tea bag in it, but you know, you could do that. All right, so I'm just going to cut that out. Wind that through. And we've got our little tag. Now there is actually a stamp that matches up with this, and I probably should have done it before I cut it. I wonder if I can stick it on it after. Let's find out, shall we? Let's live dangerously. This is the little tag stamp. And I'm thinking I might do it. Or we could do it with the Oasis or the Starry Sky. It doesn't really matter. You know, they're similar enough that sometimes they're a little bit interchangeable. But I'm just going to try stamping on this and see if it can be done or if I've just made life really hard for myself. We're about to find out. Oh, no, it's not too bad. Yay. And also on a little tiny stamp, go with that one, on this block A, I've also got, there's the word enjoy, which is what I've embossed on this one. It's time for tea. That looks really cute. Let's see, where's that? Is it this one? It's time for tea. They're so little that sometimes it's hard to read them. But yep, that's the one. They're easy to see when you stamp them though. It's time for tea. That's kind of cute. There we go. It's time for tea. See that? What happened, Megan? What booby prize? Now you guys, I've been so busy making, I missed all this. What's going on? Hi there, Tina. I didn't see you come in. Sorry. I'm looking through. Oh, shadow stamping is my cup of tea now. Right. I see. Hi, Sean. Nice to see you there. Thank you for your lovely comment on my YouTube channel. That was very great. Much appreciated. Thank you. You're giving Michelle permission, are you, Linda? I know. You know what? I still like to fussy cut. I'm one of those weird people, right? Yes, I do a lot of die cutting, but and I certainly do die cutting if I've got a lot to do because it's faster, but I don't mind the old fussy cutting. Oh dear. Yeah, I like it too, Donna. I find it therapeutic. I sit in front of the TV and do a ton of it sometimes. Coffee bag. Yes, Megan, you are correct. Oh, yes, it's in Dutch too. That's good, isn't it? It's nice that I wish they could do that for all of them. I know it's logistically difficult, but I wish they could do it for all of them. Oh, that's okay. I don't ever worry about that, Cherie. That's fine. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you. You're down in Melbourne, I see. That's cheeky. That's cheeky, Cherie. All right, so this one, I don't know if you can see, but I actually stapled that on there and then frayed the ends to make it look, I thought that kind of looked cute. This one I'm not going to staple, but I'm going to pop it behind here with a glue dot, I believe. So it's a bit long, so let me chop it a little shorter. And then let's get a glue dot on it. So I've got a glue dot on the back there. How long should it be? About there. And then to make sure that's not going anywhere, we're going to stick a dimensional on. Just like that. All right, so it's kind of, it's going up and over there. It's kind of cute. Do we like that? Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. All right, so this is super easy. We're going to pop this now on the background that we created. So let's go dimensionals in each corner. And of course, one in the middle, because you guys know what I say, no one likes to sag. Sagging is out. None of that for us. And then let's take that off. You could, if you had a hole punchy tool, like if you've still got a crocodile, or you have one of those little hole punches, you could put a little hole through here and tie your ribbon through. There's a number of different ways you could attach your twine. Let's center that. Now the only thing I think maybe it might need, we can go some iridescent rhinestones. They will look good. And then we've also got these awesome matte in color dots. So they're called matte decorative dots, and they have the matching orchid opulence, but that might be too much purple. We've already got plenty of that. I could do, there's Parakeet Party, Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, but there's no other of those colors except the Starry Sky. Maybe we'll go what do you guys think? What do you think? Oh, Sean said matte. You're quick. All right, so we're going to go with those. But what color will we use? Maybe I'll go with the lighter of these because that might look rather nice. So All right, I'm going to go the smallish one down here, or sorry, the large one here, and then maybe we'll have a little, no, that's not the right place for that. That one didn't want to stick anyway. Just like that. Not happy with the placement of those. I'll work it out. That's better. All right, so of course this now needs to go onto a piece of basic white thick cardstock, which is my preferred card base. You know, it's up to you what card base you want to use, but I love the thick card bases. It comes in white, basic white and vanilla, the thick cardstock, and it's really, it folds nicely. When they first brought it out, it didn't fold as nice. It used to crease on the fold line. They've got it right now, and it's really nice. So if you tried it at the beginning and weren't really happy with it, then give it another try, because I think they've majorly improved it. It's really good. Herbal one with lemon, yum. I love watching you guys all chat to each other on a Sunday night. It's almost like, I feel like if we were all let loose in a room in person, we'd actually feel like we know each other. Anyone else feel like that? Maybe we'll get to, anybody planning on coming to Onstage in November? Because that's going to be kind of cool. And actually, I don't think I haven't, well, I really shouldn't be saying this until we've booked the flights and everything's done. But at the moment, it looks like I'm actually going to be going to Backstage in New Orleans. So for anyone who's Silver Elite level or above, it's a global conference for those girls. And I'm planning to be there. So if anyone's here who's in that category and you're planning to be there as well, send me a line and we'll have to have a cuppa together. That'd be nice. All right, speaking of cuppas, we've got a beautiful card here. This one with the embossed greeting on the darker tee, and this one with the stamped greeting. So there we go. What do we think? Do we like those? Yeah. Who's in the corner? I don't get it. All right, let's move those aside. Now, something that those of you who are like my online classes are going to be happy to know that I've got a new one coming up. I'm hoping to have it up in the next couple of days once I've finished designing all the projects. But we're going to be using the Hues of Happiness products. Okay, so that's this stuff that's on the cover of the new catalogue. So we've got, we've got these beautiful flowers that are actually cut from the DSP. We've got some leaves. This backing piece is also from the DSP. This spiral binding is one of the dies in the set. Really, really lovely. And I'm so happy with them. I think, here they are. I mean, the samples and things on here are very, very bright. More so than I think than what I've been doing. But the suite itself, for anyone who likes the suite, has the stamps, the matching dies, the paper, this gorgeous, gorgeous 12 by 12 paper with all these beautiful flowers on it. And these, you can just see them off here to the side, these gorgeous dots. Okay, they're, what do they call them? Glossy dots assortment, and they're sparkly. Really, really pretty. Okay, so there you go. There we go. All right, I'm just going to pop that to one side. And I had a little idea of something I wanted to do. All right, so here are the dies, and here is the stamp set. I've actually got a couple of ideas that I thought we could work with. We can go with, this would be really nice, and I will definitely do, if I don't do, maybe I'll do it next time. The stained glass technique looks great with these. Does anyone remember the stained glass technique where we emboss on the vellum and then you color over the back of the paper? It looks fantastic. These look fantastic with that technique. So I might do that next time. But today I'm going to do something a bit fun. I've got a piece of, this is Blushing Bride, and I have actually cut this with one of the, I think it's the second largest stitched rectangle die. Okay, so I've cut that out. And I was making some cards I had my launch yesterday and we made some cards. Let me find you the card we made. So some of you may have seen this one before because I did actually show it on my Instagram page. We made this card, okay? And that uses the teacup that we just used from the cup of tea set, and then some of the flowers from this beautiful paper. This backing piece is also the paper, okay? Just beautiful. Really, really lovely. What I thought, though, was I was left with, after I cut out all those flowers, I was left with a whole bunch of scraps that I felt like, well, that's a shame because I can't use these because, you know, they're only half flowers. So I thought maybe we can use them. So I'm actually going to bring in my machine, my little cut and emboss machine, and we're going to be cutting some of these around the edges. You can see I've still got a whole bunch of full flowers left, but I didn't want to use those for this. I'll use those for probably for my online class, actually. All right. So I'm going to grab those. Grab my bases. So platform number 1, number 2. Actually, I might use that one. Number 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my dies out of here. So what I'm hoping I can show you, these are the dies, right? So there's the big flower and there's some other flowers here. There's the leaves. All of these cut out the pieces from the paper as well as the stamps. So it's a really, really useful, very practical stamp set. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this one here, and what I just want to cut this one out, even though it's not a whole piece, and it's a little harder to do because we haven't got the whole thing, but let me see if I can find it. I found, there it is. Oh no, I found when I'm putting it down on a full, like on a piece that is full, it's actually really easy to find. But when I'm doing the half ones, it's not as easy. Come on. I know you can. This won't be a very exciting video if I can't find it. Aha. There we go. All right. So that's going to go through like that. Let me pull this back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a few of these. All right. And this way we get no wastage at all out of our paper. I mean, hardly any waste. So it's a really good way of using up your scraps after you've cut up all your paper pieces. So you can see I've got half a piece, half a flower here. And let's do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to, and because it's already pulled apart, I'm just going to use the bit that I want. And this is going to be, so you're looking for like the bits that go in more. So that one is exactly right this time. See, much easier to find when I am paying attention to what I'm doing. So I'm going to, while I'm turning the handle, I'm trying to catch up on all the chit chat. You guys are busy tonight. Goodness me. All right, so I hope you can see that we're starting to get a few flowers. So this one is a different shape. This one is this shape. I'm just going to put that over there. And I'm going to try and get a few of each colour. I'm trying to get a variety of colours so that I'm not doing it all with the same one. I mean, it would still look nice with the same colour. I feel like you guys don't need me. You can just chat amongst yourselves while I make cards. Does that work for you? That's what we could do. Cherie, quiet and demure. Ha. We know better. All right, so there's another one here. And so you can just rip apart the bits that are kind of sticking out. Also, some of them are in the corner, and the corner ones are handy. So I'm going to pull this one in here. Let's see. Once again, I've got to find it. There we go. There it is. It's almost like doing a jigsaw puzzle when you find the right bit and you go, oh, got it. You could put them behind full flowers in the bouquet, but that's not what I'm going to do with them. You probably, some of you probably have already worked out what I'm doing. So I can get rid of that bit. I'm going to use this corner bit because it's cute. That might be that bit there. Yep, it is. Now I've only got dark pink and yellow, so I need to get a couple of light pink ones. I promise you all this cutting will be worth it. I promise. Mind you, I've only had the idea in my head. I haven't actually done it, but you know, I usually if I have an idea in my head, I don't usually do it on here unless I am pretty certain it's going to work. This is a smaller one. Sorry, a lighter one is what I meant to say. A lighter pink. I'm just scrolling down. You could fussy cut them. That's true. That would be a nice evening in front of the TV with a pair of scissors. Cutting. Mind you, as the weather gets cooler, now that it's starting to get cold, it makes me want to pick up the crochet again in front of the TV because I like to do that, and it also keeps me warm. All right. If I wanted to, I could, of course, use a bigger piece of paper as well. Have I got a piece of paper? Yeah, like, see, this is a bigger piece, and I could use the edges of this as well. But you can see these are kind of an orangey color, and then these ones are more yellow. So there's a couple of different colors in there. I hope that you can see those. Yeah. All right. In a second, I'm going to stop, and we're going to see if we need any more or if we have enough. There it is. I lost my base there for a second. This one, I think I've got enough of these. Well, let's see how many we've got. It might be enough. But if we need to make more, we'll do it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these flowers around the edge. That's a full one, but I can chop it off if I need to. We had a corner one. Let's try that one because that goes in the corner. So what I'm doing is I'm actually lining them up, and we can overlap some. This one, and if they go over the edge, doesn't matter. That's absolutely fine. This one's a full one, but I'm just going to stick it here anyway because we can always chop the edge a bit off. Which way will we go? We'll go this way. All right, I've got a couple more of these. I've got a pink one here. Let's try that. And like you said, you could just fussy cut it. Sometimes it's almost easier to with these little tiny bits. Here we go. If that's the right, nope, that's not the right one. But I'm going to find it. Here we go. Oh, I moved it. Sometimes, like this little tiny bit, yeah, probably easier to fussy cut. This one. Now you could, of course, go all the way around a full sheet, but I'm just doing it around a stitch rectangle, and you're not even going to see the stitching at the end because we're going to cover it up. Another option would be to put them all the way around, especially if you have already, you know, put them around and then use the stitch rectangle to cut the whole lot out so you get the stitching around the edge. That'd be another nice way to go. Might do that next time. All right, so I know I want this one here, so let's start putting. You could use seal or you could use Tombow. It really doesn't matter what you use for these. There's no hard and fast rule. Oh, I just realized I've gone crooked. Did I knock my phone? Maybe that's better. That's a good idea too, Cherie. Thank you for that tip. That's a really good one about putting a dot on it. Yep. You wouldn't be here without me. Ah, gee. Well, I mean, now that I've introduced you to each other, I could just... I know, I see that you're here for a half an hour before I arrive. I see that. All right, so I'm going to put that one here. Now, the advantage of using Tombow is that you can wriggle it into place. All right, so if you put it down and you get it in the wrong place with every other type of adhesive, you can be, pardon the pun, you can be stuck. All right, but I'm going to put this one here, and I'm going to go off the edge a little bit because I can nick that off. Whoops, I told you it's wet. Like that. And then turn it over and snip that off. Does that make sense? I'll do it at the end, but hopefully that makes sense what I'm doing there. All right, so this one will be fine here. I think I'm going to go that one down the bottom. Go off the edge so we can snip it off. And then this one here. You get the idea anyway, I'm pretty sure. So there's a little bit of work in it, but it's a great way of using up those leftover scraps that you didn't think you were going to be able to use. Also, if you don't put your glue right to the edges, it means you can slide something in underneath there later if you want to. So if you decide you want a particular flower to overlap a different one, so I've still got a bit of room to stick something underneath here, for example, if that's how I decided I wanted to go. Now, it looks to me, let's give that a try. Like we're going to need one more flower here. Oh, I've got this one. That will do. You know what? That's going to be good enough. Good enough for tonight. And it gives you an idea of what it is I'm working on. Okay, let's grab our scissors. All right. Somewhere here on the table are my scissors, probably hiding underneath the machine. And thankfully, there's always more scissors. I have scissors everywhere. All right, so I'm just going to snip off these edge bits. So I guess when I was, you know, using up my all that DSP and cutting out all those flowers, I just felt really bad that I had all those little leftover edge bits, and I thought, what can I do with those? And this is what I thought of. Right, just like that. Right, now I've got a piece of vellum here, and I thought I'd pop that there in the middle because that's going to soften the whole thing, right? And we will use the darker pink, which I believe is Melon Mambo. Not a color I use a huge amount, but it looks nice with this. So let's pull out one of our greetings. We've got a few different ones to pick from. I think maybe you are wonderful in every way, or wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. They're both really nice, and they're a bit rounder in shape, so they're going to go nicely in the center of the circle rather than being long and thin. So which one? Will we go you're wonderful in every way, or wishing you all the happiness you can imagine? Which one? Which one do you think, guys? Oh, nice to see you, Wendy. Hello. Yeah, it's the keyboard's fault, Michelle. I know. My keyboard some days can't spell either. Yeah, the paper is beautiful, isn't it? Ooh, Kansas. Hello. All right. Goodness, you guys can chat. That's good. Love it. It does look a bit like decoupage. Didn't think of that. Yeah, you're right. Yes, a navy would be. I was actually, you know what I was thinking of doing? I was thinking of just doing this. I wasn't even going to put a dark color behind it. You could, and it would look amazing depending on what color you chose. But I was just thinking about putting it on here on a white background because I am a big lover of white. Okay, and then popping my sentiment here in the middle. Okay, I think that's rather nice. I think it works really, really well. Yep, every Sunday night, Susan, you'll find me right here. This is where I am. Every Friday night and every Sunday night. And then sometimes I also do something during the week as well. So just depending on how things are going. All right. So I'm just looking. Oh, I just zipped out of the studio there for a second. Can you guys still hear me okay? Tell me you can hear me. Because I seem to have disappeared there for a second. No Mod Podge here tonight. I did used to have some Mod Podge, but I haven't used that stuff for years. All right. So we've got some people for happiness, some people for, wonderful, wishing you're wonderful, happiness, need happiness, happiness, wonderful in every way. Goodness me. Everyone's, I'm trying to see who was the first. You guys are too quick for me. Let me see. Who is the first? I think the first one is Donna. And Donna, you said wishing you, which is this one, wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. So you're the first, so that's the one I'm going to pick. So that is this one here. And we're going to pop that on a block. I'm just going to pop it on. What block is this? This is block H. Good size for greetings. And vellum on cards is great, especially for a greeting like this, because it softens everything. Now, the only thing that we have issues with then is how to attach it. Okay, how do we attach our vellum? And also, we don't want to touch that wording too quickly because vellum is less porous than your regular cardstock, and it takes a little bit longer to dry. If I was to run my fingers over that now, it would smudge. Okay, so we've got a couple of choices. We can put it on like this with glue dots and sort of hide our glue dots behind the writing in the middle. That's one option. It'll be flat, but then I'll have the whole thing up on dimensionals, so that would work. Or another option is we attach it very, very carefully with glue dots to another piece, like another piece, say, of white, or actually not white, because then we're going to lose our pink. You know, I'm tempted to just put it on as it is. I'm going to carefully pop this face down. Like I said, you don't want to smudge it. So I'm kind of blotting it on my paper because I want to get rid of some of that, the wetness of the ink pad. Can you see it came off a little bit, but we haven't smudged it. So that's just going to protect it a little bit. Anyone got anything exciting planned for the week? I'm going to pop it right here behind the happiness word with my, carefully placing it with my bone folder. Or actually, use the point of my scissors too. Take your pick tool really is the ideal thing. Mine's just out of reach at the moment. There we go. Let's try that. Before I push it down, I'm going to make sure it's exactly where I want it to be and that it's straight. And then gently press it where my glue dots are. Can't see them because they're hidden behind the printing. That's kind of working well. What do we think? Do we like it? And then I'm going to wax some dimensionals on the back here. Now, because these sides are quite long, I'm going to go one in each corner and then one on each, the middle of each side. Because once again, no sagging allowed. So this is I guess a great way to help you use up your scraps. If you've got a lot of this paper left over, especially after you've cut out all those, you know, if you've used your die cutting machine and cut out all the flowers with the matching die cuts. I love stamps. I love DSP that matches dies. I love that. Whoop, before I do this, I need to flatten down this edge. And then let's pop this right here in the middle. Now this time I do think we need some bling because, you know, as Jody would say, always need bling. And I think I've got a couple of people here who know that I do like my bling. Right, so we've got some iridescent rhinestones. Let's go with those. And I'm thinking maybe I'm just going to pop them a couple of little ones. Just like that. We could add, if you thought we needed it, we could add a little bit, we could add a little bow down the bottom here with some white seam binding ribbon. What do you think? Do you think we need it? Or do you think we leave it as it is? Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, a little bit of bling in the black centers of the flowers. You could do that. Or maybe some Wink of Stella would look nice there. That's a possibility. Ah, yes, I love vellum embossed. And I like it with the 3D folders as well because I like the white chalky look that it gets. You know, if I use this here, that's how that's going to look. Do we like it? Do we think it needs a ribbon? A yellow bow. Oh, that'd be nice, Linda. And I could easily color. The good thing about this stuff is you can color it any color you like. Leave it, says Sean. Leave it, says Susan. Goodness me, everyone's got a different opinion. Let me see who commented first. Yes, Cherie, you're always allowed out of the corner. Bling, says Jody. Yep. That does sound like a busy week, Nairi. Leave it, says Sean. And that was the first comment. So I will leave it. I'm not going to add anything to it. I'm going to just leave it the way it is. And that's our 2 cards for tonight, guys. So we ended up with 2, I think, pretty cards. We did this one and this one. Totally different. This, although I have used the Hues of Happiness tonight because I wanted it to be a good reminder to me to let you guys know that the online class option is coming out for you very soon. So look out for that over the next few days. Now, if you're in Australia, you can get all the supplies to make up the cards in the class sent to you. And then I send you the YouTube link, which is a private link, and you can just watch it at your leisure and make up the cards. Okay. If you're overseas and you're not in a situation where you can purchase from me, you can still buy the tutorial. Okay. So you can purchase the tutorial. I'll have the details of that coming out over the next couple of days. So look out for it. And in the meantime, guys, I hope everyone has a great week. I'll be back on Friday night like always, and I'm hoping I might get something else up on YouTube this week as well. I'm trying to build up my presence there. If anyone has a moment to share this video over to the VIP group, I can do it myself. But apparently, if you are the owner of a page and you share it to another page, Facebook doesn't actually like that. It thinks you're just trying to self-promote, which of course is true. I would be trying to self-promote. But if somebody else does it for you, Facebook goes, oh, people are interested in this. That's great. I'll show more of that. And it really is great for the Facebook algorithm. So that's how that works. If anyone is a member of my VIP group, the Linda Dolke's private stamping group, please take a moment and share it over there. That would be great. Okay, I think, did I catch any comments? Did I miss any comments, I should say? Oh, Megan. And Megan used to live in Cherie Street. How funny is that? Goodness me. You probably, probably long lost cousins twice removed or something. Who knows? I actually discovered that one of my ladies, I haven't seen if she's watching tonight, but Alani, who watches here sometimes, we discovered that we share a I'm not sure if I think it's great grandmother in common. So that's a bit exciting. We discovered that only recently after something I said on one of these lives. I hope you learned some things. Where's Crumpet? He's actually shut out of the room tonight. Yeah, I've decided tonight might be a good night to not spend with Crumpet jumping all over my stuff. But I know you guys like to see him, so sometimes I let him in. Yes, that's right. We do love to defeat the machines. That's right. Oh, off you go, Linda. Go get something to eat. You sound hungry. All right, people. I hope everyone has a great week, and I'll see some of you, or hopefully all of you, next Friday night. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.